Welcome to the 2025 Manhattan Adult Services Meet and Greet event. This event today is sponsored by the Manhattan DD Council's Transition Committee. Today, we're going to be hearing from a variety of organizations that offer programs and services for adults with disabilities who live in Manhattan. Some of those services highlighted today are going to include rehabilitation programs, employment services, and more. Many of these programs and services are part of the New York State Office for People with Developmental Disabilities, or OPWDD. In order to qualify for those services, a person must be eligible for OPWDD services, and for many of the services, also have a care manager. At the halfway point of this meeting today, we're going to be hearing from some of our local care coordination organizations, or CCOs, which are agencies that can assist families with OPWDD eligibility and getting a care manager. Some of the other organizations presenting today also have family support programs that can assist with OPWDD eligibility. We're going to have many organizations presenting today and a short window of time for each organization, so we're going to be sticking very closely to the schedule that you see on your screen. Due to these time constraints, there won't necessarily be time for questions, but if you're interested in connecting with any of the organizations, their contact information will be available in the chat box throughout the meeting. Following today's meeting, a recording will be available on the Manhattan DD Council's YouTube channel. That link is also in the chat. And you can sign up for the Manhattan DD Council email list using the link you see in the chat, and then you'll get notifications about future meetings. We have many more resources available on our website, which is manhattanddcouncil.org. Without further ado, I'm going to turn the meeting over to our first presenter, which is ADAPT Community Network.
Okay, so my name is Karen Liebman, and I am from ADAPT Community Network. We are a very large provider agency. We provide services throughout the lifespan. Today, obviously, we're focusing on services and programs that are appropriate for young adults transitioning to adult services and their families. So these are just a few of the services that ADAPT Community Network provides. In addition to rehabilitation, which I will focus on in a minute, we also provide supplemental day-hab, which is kind of an extension of day-hab hours in the late afternoon into early evening. Our supplemental day-hab focuses on recreation and having fun. We also provide supported employment for those who are ready or near ready to work. Community rehabilitation, which is a worker that would be hired to work one-on-one with your loved one in the home, in the community. We have a range of family support services, such as family reimbursement, housing assistance, environmental modifications. We provide assistive technology. We have an overnight respite program in the Bronx, and we do provide transportation for those members who live outside of the Bronx. We provide healthcare, we have residential opportunities, and we have a very big education department for young children. Our day-hab programs, we have them in every borough except for Queens. In Manhattan, we have two programs. One is in Harlem and one is in Inwood, so both in Upper Manhattan. I will also point out that we have 3-day programs in the Bronx, and sometimes people who live in Manhattan will choose to attend a day program in the Bronx if it's more to their liking. All of our day programs are site-based, meaning there's a choice of classroom-based activities and community inclusion activities. We do have one Without Walls program in the Bronx, and in that program, they come and meet at the site, but then they're out in the community all day at volunteer sites. And recreational activities. All of our programs are barrier-free, wheelchair accessible. We provide bus transportation, although we do encourage people to take Access-a-Ride if and when they can. And we provide vouchers for Access-a-Ride so that they don't have to pay out of pocket. All of our programs are person-centered, meaning we work with the person and the family to figure out their needs, their support needs, their wishes, their personal dreams and goals, and create a program that's very individualized just for them. We have access to clinical services such as OT, PT, and speech for those who are attending our day program and are in need and eligible for those services. And we have a big focus on community inclusion. These are just some of the many activities that we offer: art, media and technology, computer skills, theater and music, self-advocacy, continuing education, community inclusion, work readiness, health and fitness activities, learning independent living skills, and special events and adventure trips. And again, we work with each person to determine what their interests are. We always encourage people to try new things, and we develop an individualized program for each person. I will put my information in the chat. I oversee admissions for day programs. Oops. But for general inquiries, you can contact our Project Connect line, which is our information and referral line. So here's the phone number and the email, and you can always access our website as well to learn about the services and supports that we provide.
Okay, thank you, Adapt Community Network. The next speaker is AHRC New York City.
Hello everybody, my name is Eamon Notuma. I am a Program Director at the Betty Pendler New York League for AHRC NYC. I'm going to talk about some of our Manhattan Day programs. We have 4 programs in Manhattan that we're very proud of. And here's a little slideshow. AHRC is advocacy, humanity, reimagination, and change. We value belonging, valued experiences, belonging, being respected, choosing, contributing, and sharing ordinary places. Some of the ADS experiences and community partnerships include places like Manny Cantor, Meals on Wheels, Meals on Heels, Trinity Church, CVS, Ripley Lear Studios, Jan Hus Church, Jewish Museum, JCC, and the Apple Store. ADS experiences include creative expression, health, and continuing education. Creative expression would include visual arts, comic illustration, creative movement, music, performing arts, indoor gardening. Health would include yoga, healthy cooking, fitness, and sports. Continuing education, one of the main parts of this is self-advocacy. We have a very proud self-advocacy organization, and we're very involved. We have people that are very involved in self-advocacy. Technology and structured sports. We have teach programs, visual supports, behavior supports for people, and supports for people with visual impairment. So the first program we want to talk about is our Paul and Anthony Fisher program, which is on 125th Street, 2080 Lexington Avenue. It's a wonderful program, an inspiring program located in the center of Harlem that creates opportunities for people to reach their potential. Fisher has a variety of interest groups, including a very famous gospel choir, indoor gardening, cooking class. They do a lot of volunteering, and all these opportunities bring talents forward and help people to find the skills that they may have inside. And as a team at Fisher, they try their best every single day to develop the programming around people's interests. Some of their on-site activities are arts and crafts. They work with fiber arts. They have an established fiber program supported by Intertwine Arts that inspires creativity, joy, self-confidence through free-form weaving for the people supported. The Soaring Wings are the gospel choir, and they create a safe and welcoming environment for everyone. They sing at senior centers, churches, and in the community. They have Zumba, dancing, exercises, relaxation, meditation, reading, writing, and basket weaving, and they have a really popular indoor gardening program. In the community, they're involved in many volunteer sites, food pantries, city seminary. They do music at Daniel's Music Foundation, basket weaving and jewelry, gardening at the Brotherhood Sister, soup kitchens, community fridge, book clubs at the library, and the recreational center. They're also connected to the City Seminary, the American Folk Art Museum, Positive Exposure, Casita Maria in the Bronx, and the Dynamic Arts Gallery in the Bronx. The Fisher program has about 130 people. The Walter Neville Redfield program is located at West 56th Street. They have about 65 people attending. They do a lot of outdoor activities that promote physical activity, team building, and exploration, offering participants opportunities to enjoy nature and engage in community activities. Indoor activities that they provide are art communication, self-advocacy, and they have a very popular AHRC Broadway group, which we have Broadway performers that work with people to put on shows, and they put on musicals several times a year. This is many of the people in our Manhattan programs are involved in this, in the AHRC Broadway. Some of you may have heard of it. It's very successful and it's a wonderful program. What makes Redfield unique is that the combination of outdoor adventures, creative activities, and the opportunity for people to participate in a dynamic performance-focused group that celebrates the arts. The Betty Pendler program is located at 200 Varick Street. This would be my favorite. I am the program director here. My name is Eamon, so look me up. We have about 150 people attending. We have a beautiful space in 200 Varick Street, right in the heart of Greenwich Village. People attend from all over the city, looking for new connections and experiences. Betty Pendler is a vibrant, social and diverse program, and it's a fun place to be. We have individualized programs built around each person based on their talents, goals and interests. Highly trained professional staff working with each individual, encouraging self-discovery and growth. A rich variety of remote, in-house and community-based offerings such as photo editing, and also the Broadway theatre performance is also based at our site. And we also have a branch of the Art Studio, which is a fully equipped art facility staffed by professional artists. Music and the arts are central to the daily life of Betty Pendler, along with a variety of community-based volunteer opportunities. We like to support people in defining their full life and giving them the tools to achieve that dream. And then finally, we have on the Lower East Side our Norfolk program, which has about 113 people. The Norfolk program offers a dynamic mix of activities designed to promote fitness, creativity, and community engagement, all within a supportive and inclusive environment. They provide Zumba and dance classes. They visit local gyms. They have a creative outlet art program, painting, sculpture, and other mediums to allow participants to explore their artistic abilities while building confidence and motor skills. Community engagement is very important. They have regular outings to museums and different boroughs via public transportation, offering people the opportunities to gain independence and engage with the wider community. They have a very rich volunteering program with organizations like Vision Urban, Meals on Wheels, Encore, and the Church of the Lady of Pompeii. They provide a sense of purpose, teamwork, and community connections. What makes the program unique is the combination of fitness, creativity, real-world experience, and volunteering, all designed to empower participants and help them grow in a variety of ways. Thank you very much for your time, and this is the email for referrals, and I think the rest of the information is in the chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you, AHRC. Our next presenter will be Braverhood.
Thank you, everybody. Good morning. My name is Victoria. I am the director at Braverhood here in the Bronx. And we are a Without Walls Day program. We do offer supplemental as well. So welcome to Braverhood. Your world is about to get braver. We are community located in the Bronx and currently serve Bronx and Manhattan communities. Transportation is available, and we are also wheelchair accessible. We structure our program around the most important plan, which is the life plan. The member goals, the member growth is our ultimate guide. They Have Without Walls focuses on socialization, obtaining and maintaining life skills, all while being part of the community. They Have Without Walls and supplemental, we assist our individuals to acquire, retain, and improve their independence, socialization, and adaptive skills while navigating the community. Half-day and full-day programs are available, and we do offer flexible pickup times. We provide enhanced communication, increased socialization, assistance in travel, independent life skills, shopping assistance, entertainment venues, community awareness, volunteer programs. We also have a unique home base, which offers a game room, basketball, gym, arts and crafts, guest speakers and DJs, karaoke, a computer studio, as well as a beauty studio. Our home base is also a community hub. Transportation is available in the Bronx and Manhattan. We're wheelchair accessible. We provide a safe location, a beauty salon with complimentary services, a PlayStation game arena, a gym, a quiet room, as well as a private dining area, private office for camera manager meetings, breakfast and lunch are provided at no cost, as well as the computer lab. Enrolling a member is quite easy. You tour the site. You can email, my email is provided, victoria.svdc@outlook.com, or you can give me a call. SARFID or time is created. You submit it to OPWDD, and there you go. You're welcome to Braverhood. And the best part about Braverhood is that I'd like to offer you a peek inside. Welcome to the experience.
Great, thank you, Braverhood. And we have a next presenter is the Center for Family Support.
Okay, so we're the Center for Family Support. I'm presenting today on family support services, but I am going to run quickly through all the programs that we have. So we do have residences. We're an FI for anybody having self-direction. We have a variety of community programs such as ComHab, in-home respite, home care, day hab without walls, supportive employment, and family support services, which is FSS. I'm going to discuss the Service Access Program, which is here to help families care for their loved ones with a developmental disability at home for as long as desired. Supports families in obtaining needed programs and services for their family members with IDD and ASD, and provides you a service access coordinator to assist with obtaining OPWDD eligibility. The eligibility process and what's required is going to be psychological, psychosocial, medical, IEP, an ADOS, it's also called CARS evaluation for anybody with an autism diagnosis, and any additional evaluations. The transmittal form is done by the SAC, which is the Service Access Coordinator, and that's going to be submitted to OPWDD. Once deemed eligible, anyone under 8 is going to receive a provisional eligibility, and that will give them access to the grant book and the services in the grant book listed here. Some of them are advocacy, behavior management, reimbursement, respite, things like that. Then for anybody older than 8, they will receive permanent eligibility, and the Service Access Coordinator will assist them with obtaining the CCO information and guide them to them. Once they're enrolled with the CCO, they'll be assigned a care manager. And that's the process for service access, which only does eligibility. Okay, I'm going to let my colleague Danielle Powers speak a little bit on her program, which is community rehabilitation.
Thanks, Natasha. Hi, everyone. My name is Danielle Powers. I'm the Assistant Director of Community Services at CFS. So we right now have openings in Day Hab Without Walls and Community Hab in Brooklyn, Bronx, and New York City. We also, like Natasha said, have supported employment as well as community-based pre-voc. So some of the cool things to note with our program is that we don't have a site-based program. It's all without walls. But we do work closely with our innovative and adaptive, I'm sorry, I get so nervous when I talk, guys, and our self-advocacy groups as well. So we do do a lot of fun stuff. We recently just had our first ever show. We partnered with a group called Collab, and we had a show in Manhattan. So that was a 6-month process, and a lot of our self-advocates participated in that. So people will come to our offices or to various sites in the community to participate in these projects. So some other things that we've done are going to visit the NBC news station. We do an annual coat drive, a lot of different volunteer work. So it is very person-centered. We work closely with the families to develop, the goals for all of our programs. So yeah, and that's pretty much what we have right now. And the contact information is there on the website. I'll put my direct email in as well for any direct referrals, as well as Gianni Almonte. She does the referrals for respite and home care. And Natasha's information is up on the screen as well for service access. So thank you guys. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Center for Family Support. Next up, we are going to have Esperanza Center.
Good morning, everyone. So happy to see you all here today. So my name is Claudia Vidal. I am representing Esperanza Center, and Elizabeth Linda will be here with me today. She's the day program coordinator. But to start, I want to just do something a little bit different. Usually I do a PowerPoint presentation. This year I thought I'd just share straight what we do, so you can get like a look of what it looks like to be part of the Esperanza family, like we call it. We're all about just kind of highlighting the best parts of what makes us human. Of course, we provide a range of services, but the goal is that by the end of the day, everyone who joins us, whether it's an employee or a person that gets services, they will be better off for being part of our program. So can everyone see my screen just to make sure? Yeah, okay. So yeah, here's an example of just like our most recent walkathon. And this is an event we do once a year, and we just kind of get everyone together, parents, day program coordinators, staff, people that just, want to be part of this greater event. Everyone is involved. We're all about diversity, having fun, bringing the family together. It's all really about inclusion. And here you can see photos of what this looks like. Just an example. Our day program, our residents, it's usually like this in many ways. When they go in there, they have structure, they have plans, they have goals that they have to follow. But the goal is that we get these smiles, that we can capture these moments so that then they can go home and give you, it's contagious, give you a little bit of that. So here are a few more photos. And just for those who are interested in knowing a little bit about how it looks like when you're actually coming to our program, here's an example of one of our day program activities with the gardening projects that you see here. This is something they love doing. We have a kitchen, so we cook, we do arts and crafts, we engage them in the community. And we just want them to really acquire skills that will change their life, that it would not just be about coming into a center and learning ABC, but applying it in real life. And just to give you an overview, I will share right now, let me stop this because I know I'm short in time. I will share our brochure so that you can have an actual list of our services in the chat. But just to give you a rundown, we do have the program, we have in-home respite, we have adult recreation program, children recreation program, getaway trips, residential services, and family reimbursement. The residential program right now has vacancies for 3 opportunities. So anyone that's interested in the brochure, you will find a way to get in contact with the coordinator and find out more. We also have some information for the day program, and Elizabeth Lindau can join me now so that she can actually talk a little bit more about that. So Elizabeth, if you can give them some information about the day program.
Morning, everybody. How are you? Our day program We do work with adults with intellectual disabilities, of course. This is our goal, and we want to make sure that they have the best possible service available to them. Our classrooms are very nicely set up where they all get to mingle with each other. Our opportunities for community inclusion is great. We try to get them as far as open as possible. We have vans that transport them to different areas if they cannot do buses or trains. They do love their bowlings. They love to plan their trips. So we encourage them and engage them in planning of their activities. Be it going out to lunch at Applebee's and just having some time with friends, going and doing different activities, movies and things like that. We do have some volunteer sites even within our own building that we participate in, even senior centers. So we actually have the food pantries and things like that. So they can also feel that they're doing work. And among that work, we also have them participate in clerical activities within our facility itself. They each have little jobs that they do. Be it mail delivery, making the copies, covering for our receptionists in the front office, things like that. At the end of the day, we just do that to make them feel capable. And we also want them to know that they have talents, and we want those talents to be, let everybody see their talent. They have a lot of great talent here, and we don't ever want to hinder their talent. So if they're capable of speaking and they want to do something, we're going to have them do it. We are looking into creating new activities for them. Even some of them have spoken about creating a newsletter amongst themselves. So that's something that we're going to look into for the future as well. So hopefully the next time we meet, you can actually have an example of our newsletter that they created themselves.
Thank you, Elizabeth. And the brochure is there. I will make sure to also send a PowerPoint slide for anyone that wants to dive deeper into our history. We've been around for over 50 years. I think it's more like 70, because it really started back in the 50s, but established in the 70s. And yeah, we're serve Manhattan and the Bronx. We're in the Washington Heights community. We speak Spanish, English, very diverse group, and we're here to answer any questions. And with that, I guess we're good.
Okay, thank you, Esperanza. We have next agency is Gateway Counseling Center and GCC Transportation.
Well, my name is Mary Tejada. I'm the Director of Intake here at Gateway Counseling Center. Let me just jump right into it. So we have a few different locations. We have a Bronx location that actually covers Bronx, Manhattan, and Westchester, Lower Westchester. We have a Queens location, which is located in Jamaica, and then a Brooklyn location that it's in the Dumbo area, the downtown Brooklyn area. We do provide transportation, and we do provide meals. So that's breakfast, lunch, snack throughout the day, and then dinner for supplemental, which I'll get into. We do have day hab, which runs from Monday to Friday, 9 to 3:15. We have supplemental, which runs from Monday to Friday, 3:30 to 6:30, and then Saturdays and Sundays, 9 to 3. I'll jump into what each program entails. Perfect. So as I mentioned, these are the locations, the addresses for each location, our hours, and what's included, which is meals and transportation. And trips, of course. So I'll get right into it. Starting with our group day hab program, we have both site-based and without walls. Site-based, I try to explain it that it's very similar to a school setting where, they're in classrooms, they go from classroom to classroom, activity to activity. While without walls is a community-based program where they use community resources to work on, different goals that they may have. And just to kind of dive into what kind of groups, we do have music and dance. We have a DJ group within that. We have group discussions, whether it's, speaking of current events, speaking of, whatever the case may be. We try to incorporate group discussions where everyone's participating, everyone's communicating. We work on money management. So with that is, financial literacy, learning how to get your, what kind of change you should be receiving back, things of that nature. We have computer groups, we have anger management where, it's more so they're working on, how to properly express their emotions. We have literacy, so, we try to continue what they were learning in school. So mathematics, reading, writing, also adult education, therapeutic activities. So, you know, board games, video games. You know, we have also wellness. So that's split into, you know, female and male groups where, you know, they kind of learn how to, you know, they're adults now, they're not children. So how to, you know, properly take care of themselves, how to properly groom themselves, things of that nature. We also do have arts and crafts. We have photography groups, things like that. It's all very dependent on what's discussed during a life plan meeting and what goals you have in place for your child or for yourself. And these are just some photos from our day hub groups. And I forgot to add, for our Without Walls program, we do have volunteer opportunities. It is a lot higher functioning. They're a lot more active, and volunteering is part of our Without Walls. Site-based, they do still go out, but they go out maybe once or twice a week for different trips. And those trips can consist of, you know, going bowling, going to a museum, going to the movies, and things like that. Our next program is supplemental. It's an evening and weekend recreational program. As I mentioned, it runs from Monday to Friday, 3:30 to 6:30, and then Saturdays and Sundays, 9 to 3. For that, it is very recreational. Day Hab is very routine, it's very structured, while supplemental is very similar to an after-school program. Kind of gives them time to unwind from their long day. During the evenings, you know, they'll participate in things like music and dance. We have arts and crafts. We have a dance team. We have a basketball team. We have a DJ group, photography group. They participate in therapeutic activities such as, you know, board games, video games. We also have like movie days or movie nights for them if that's what they prefer to do. Arts and crafts. And then field trips usually take place during the weekends because they have all day to do that. And then for that, we provide dinner in the evenings and then breakfast and lunch in the morning, in the weekends. Okay. And this is a standalone service. So even if they find another day hab program that they are interested in, but they'd like to come in the evening, we can provide that transportation from that day hab program to our supplemental program. And they can come on the weekends as well. It's a standalone service, so they don't need to be enrolled in our day. And these are just some photos. You know, we participated in America's Got Talent. We didn't get far, but it was still very cool to say, you know, we did America's Got Talent. And that's huge. You know, on the weekends during the summer, we try to close down the street. We have fairs, little carnivals, which is very cool. And they love that. So these are just some activities that they participate in. We have a community rehabilitation program, which I'm sure you guys are all very familiar with. It is a one-to-one personalized service. It takes place in the home or in the community. For the other two services that I've mentioned, it is for adults who've already aged out of school. And then for ComHab, it is 12 and up. There is a flexibility when it comes to schedule. It all is dependent on the individual's needs, the individual's schedule. We have people who are in school and prefer to do it after. We have people who come in the mornings and during the week or just do weekends, very dependent on what you know you need. Meals are not provided since it is an at-home service, but we do provide MetroCard fare for any activities or any trips that they go on. And this is just an idea of examples of goals that they participate in ComHab. You know, there's laundry, there's light cooking, there's money management, there's resume building. Sometimes there's, you know, interviewing skills if that's something that they're seeking, going out into the community, learning community safety, social skills, going to museums, going on trips, things of that nature. And it is a one-to-one service. Sometimes, you know, our individuals do better in a one-to-one setting versus a group setting. Then this is a only Bronx service. It's advanced family support. It's a short-term 3 to 6 month service. Providing in-home family counseling and education to increase understanding of disabilities, problem behaviors, problem-solving techniques, things of that nature. Again, it is a only Bronx service, so for those Bronx residences. But it can be seen as like behavior prevention service. And that is a service that is for those that are 5 and up. This is just, am I eligible? Bronx resident living at home with family above the age of 5. primary diagnosis of an IV. Then we have family reimbursement, which is also for only Bronx residents. It is exactly what it sounds like. It's a OPWD funded program that provides financial assistance for recreational activities, sensory items, camp tuition, clothing. It all has to, tie into the diagnosis, but that this is something that we can help with in terms of, funding those activities or clothing, legal fees as well for, guardianship. Okay, and then I'm going to jump into GCC Transportation. It's our sister company. We provide non-emergency medical transportation. So say if your child or individual has a medical appointment, a dentist appointment, an evaluation that they have scheduled, we can provide that transportation versus having to rely solely on Access-a-Ride, which sometimes can be a little non-reliable. I don't want to throw that out there, but sometimes it can be. But this is just another alternative. This is just another option. We do have wheelchair accessible vehicles, and they are also the ones that provide transportation for us in our programs. So just to jump, kind of piggyback off the wheelchair accessible vehicle comment, we do offer services for those that are wheelchair accessible. We just do not provide one-to-one when it comes to toileting. So that I just wanted to point. Okay, the next steps is contacting the care manager, having the care manager place a referral. Then an intake and a tour is held. They'll come in, have a tour of the facility. And if they wish to move forward, we would schedule a 1-week trial. They'll come in as if they were enrolled. They'll have their transportation, their meals. They'll participate in all activities. And after the trial, they, determine if it's a good fit for them. After the trial, then the intake department reaches out to, care manager with the list of documents that are needed for enrollment. And this is the contact information for our intake email. I am the director of intake, so I would be the contact person. But on any referrals, any questions, any requests for tours, we can do private tours without a referral being placed. So that is available to you. And that is all. That is Gateway.
Thank you, Gateway. Our next presentation is going to be with General Human Outreach in the Community, Inc., or GHO.
Thank you, Andrew. Good morning, everyone. Good to see everyone. My name is Aaron Sams. I'm a project coordinator at GHO. A little about GHO. GHO was founded by Jane Koo in 1992. General Human Outreach, GHO was established with a commitment to improving the lives of individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities and to address the needs of the Asian American community. At GHO, our mission is to provide exceptional human service to members of our greater community. Our goal is to empower individuals to lead meaningful and fulfilling lives where they can contribute to society and experience and enrich quality of life. GHO has wonderful programs such as our Day Hab Without Walls, employment training programs, other waiver services, including IRIS, Meal Hab, and Respite. We also have family support service, including non-Medicaid case management, free evaluation, family reimbursement. All of these great services are available for individuals living in Manhattan, Brooklyn, or Queens. My colleague Pat will elaborate today on adult day services. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. 3 highlights of GHO's adult service. Number 1, person-centered environment. We work closely with the family and the person to come out a person-centered plan according to their personal goal, level of assistance, and outcome of which they wish to achieve. Number 2 is a resourceful and knowledgeable intake team to provide informed choices. And number 3 is bilingual staff available. We have staff speak Korean and Chinese. So let me start from Day Hab, site-based Day Hab. So it's a currently GHO has 2 sites. One is in Long Island City, the other in Brooklyn Sunset Park. The program provides volunteer opportunity. It also has a recreational activities. It's to promote independent living skills. And GHO provides transportation and lunch if individual needs. So a quote from my our site-based Day Hab director, Camille Brown, she says that site-based Day Hab aims to promote independent and self-confidence by enhancing their communication, problem solving, and daily living skill in a safe and inclusive setting. So We often have parents ask about what are they doing in the site-based day hub. So the next slide will show you the calendar for their week look like. So you will see they do it indoor. It will be art and craft. They do cooking. They do baking. They do a lot of indoor activities. They also have at least 2 times a week have a community outings. So next I will do DHWW. That stands for Day Hub Without Walls. Day Hub Without Walls is a community-based training program to develop job readiness skills. And they also has opportunity for recreational activities. Individual can participate in a flexible hours and can be part-time or full-time. So according to our Day Hub Without Walls supervisor, Carrie Pierce, she says, individual being in the community provide an opportunity to learn in a fun environment. So that's Day Hub Without Wall. And next will be CBPV. So that stands for Community-Based Pivot. So I want to start with our quote from our CBPV director, Sade Dons. She said, this is a good program. This is a good program. She believes everybody can work. So this is definitely, CBPV definitely is a good program for someone is thinking about employment and have a job in the future. It's a good starting program, okay? So the program provides in a individual's community or the location where the individual wish to work in the future. It focuses on the skill needed for employment. It can be flexible hours, can be a part-time and full-time. We have the individual come for 2 hours a week to focus a certain area that he really wants to work on. So, so basically why this is a good program, it's because this program will help to create and design through that meet future employment goals. The next one is PE. That stands for Pathway to Employment. So pathway employment technically is once in a lifetime service. We expect the individual it's already travel trained. If not, PE it's supposed to do this goal as one of the goals. So it will involve individuals' comprehensive employment planning and situational assessment. During this 1-year program, individuals receive support and assistance up to about 270 years. And during these years, there is a discovery stage that we will help the individual to identify their strengths, their interests, and then their job preference. And they also would develop a customized employment. And the goal is to have a competitive and self-employment and eventually has an employment at or above minimum wage. So just to be aware, PE is not an internship. So which is the next program I'm going to talk about? It's really an internship program. That's ETP. So ETP stands for Employment Training Program. Our program supervisor, Sade, said, we focus on the word training. This is a training program. It's in an internship environment. So it's a 1-year program. It's a one-to-one assistance. Individual, it's also definitely is for job seekers. Individual will participate in a paid internship. And the goal is leading to a long-term employment. So next, it's SEMP. It stands for Supported Employment Service. Supported Employment Service requires individual at least has a 6 months paid job experience in order for them to qualify for this program. So it's definitely is for the job seekers. Individual receive assistance in preparing and obtaining competitive work. So individual will receive a job coaching and travel training during this 1-year program. Okay, now, everybody here, I called so many of our day programs, directors, they're saying they're good quotes, but they are real person. We have site-based day head Camille Brown. We have Carrie Pierce for our day head without wall, and Sade Domes from employment program. They all have very extended experience working in this field and the knowledge. So they are welcome for all your call and reach out to them for further details of their program. Want to introduce the GHO's intake team to refocus that at the beginning. I talked about that our highlight, one of the highlight is that we have resourceful and knowledgeable intake team to provide informed choices. So our intake team, we are all bilingual, either speaking Chinese or Korean. And we welcome you to call to inquire about any of GHO's service. And their name and their contact information is there. So welcome to call them. Thank you very much. That concludes GHO's presentation today. Okay, so thank you, GHO. The next presenter will be Goodwill NYNJ.
There we go. Good morning, everyone. I'm Lindsay, the Outreach and Marketing Specialist for Goodwill. Just to get started, most people know Goodwill from the stores and our donation centers, but just so you know, that money is used to go back into the community. Goodwill provides an array of services, including Day Out Without Walls, job coaching, full-time jobs, temporary jobs for people with disabilities and other barriers. Goodwill's philosophy is that everyone has the right to explore independence and employment. Our job is to support people in achieving goals that are both meaningful to them and result in the person living their most independent and fulfilling life. We strive to make sure that all things done are person-centered. So here at Goodwill, we have Day Out Without Walls, community-based pre-voke, respite, SEMP, and advanced services. These are located in Queens, downtown Brooklyn, and then finally East Harlem. Our Harlem Possibilities supports people in increasing social and communication skills by developing their independence. For those who are interested in employment, we also have our employment track, which focuses on teaching job expectations, workplace safety, and prepares for job interviews while working on soft skills such as professional communication or appropriate workplace behaviors. Currently in Harlem, we have some volunteer sites at 7-Eleven, senior centers, and a food bank. And we're always trying to get more volunteer sites. Every month, participants are given a hobbies and interest survey, as well as a volunteer site survey to try and see what they would like to do. We currently have a partnership with CVS that allows our participants interested in working to go to a mock CVS store in Manhattan and do a 16-week hands-on training. This CVS cohort was most recently done in Brooklyn and had 2 people hired for employment at CVS's located near them. At Goodwill, we also have our SEMP, supported employment. For SEMP, this is for individuals who are ready to work. So they do evaluation and assessment, perform vocational assessment to identify each individual's skills, interests, and goals, laying the foundation for personalized employment plans. We do job placement, providing guidance, resources, and collaboration with employers to help participants explore careers, set goals, and find matching job opportunities. Job coaching and training. Our experienced job coaches provide hands-on training and support, helping participants develop essential workplace skills and succeed in their chosen field. Finally, we have ongoing support. So we offer ongoing support post-placement to ensure the participants thrive in their new roles by addressing any challenges that arise. We have our advanced program. This is for individuals that do not have OPWDD waiver services and are diagnosed with autism. This is funded by the Department of Mental Health and is a 1-year time-limited program that uses the discovery to assess strengths, skills, and support needs. Enrollees participate in weekly work readiness groups, internships, and other vocational activities. So since this is a time-limited program, the first 1 to 3 months is discovery, 4 to 7 is that job development, 8 to 10 would be job coaching, and then finally would be job coaching and then transitioning. That could be assisting them with getting OPWDD waiver skills or waiver services, and then having them go over to SEMP if they need that ongoing training. Finally, we have our respite. This is just recreational fun. It's a Saturday respite program. So they go out to the community, movies, picnics, holiday celebrations, sightseeing. There is limited transportation with our respite program, and all places that they go have transportation. Finally, our enrollment process would be scheduling a tour. Usually that's like 30 to 45 minutes, coming in person, meeting with staff. Then we do a 2-week trial. So that's 10 days coming in person, participating in the groups, going to those volunteer sites, and making sure it's a real program that you find that would be successful to you. And then after that, we do get all the paperwork and do a PCP meeting. I am hosting an open house at our Harlem Possibilities. It's going to be Monday, March 10th. I will share this flyer in the group chat, but if you have any questions, you guys can come. We'll have light snacks and drinks. If you have any questions, here's all of our information. I run the Day Hab Without Walls, but if you reach out to any of us, we'll get you in contact with the right person. So I'm Lindsay. Joy Ellis runs our respite program. Jason Ramirez runs the advanced program, and Rangeli, runs our SENT program. Thank you.
Thank you, Goodwill. At this point, we're coming to a little bit of a pivot point in our presentations. Like we talked about at the beginning, many of the services we're hearing about are part of the New York State Office for People with Developmental Disabilities, or OPWDD. In order to qualify for those services, a person has to be eligible for OPWDD services, and for many of the services also have a care manager. We're now going to be hearing from 2 of the care coordination organizations, or CCOs, working with the New York City region. Those presenting today are Advanced Care Alliance and Care Design New York. These organizations can assist families with establishing OPWDD eligibility and also with getting a care manager. Connecting with one of these CCOs can be a good first step for getting connected to the programs and services that we're hearing about today. We're also going to be hearing from Partners Health Plan, which is a specialized managed care organization for people with IDD that provides access to many of the same services with some additional requirements for enrollment.
So we will first start with ACA, Advanced Care Alliance.
Thank you. My name is Zachariah Latif. I'm from Advanced Care Alliance of New York. I'm from the Outreach Department. Advanced Care Alliance, we are one of the care coordination organizations, as Andrew explained. You know, we provide the same services as Care Design of New York, who's also going to be presenting today. So care management services, this is what care managers do. They help people with developmental disabilities connect to services that they need. We do support people of all ages. I just want to stress here that we cannot enroll until the child is 3 years old and must be done with early intervention. I know there has been in the past some confusion about that. I know with ACA, we usually start that process 2 months prior to their 3rd birthday, but we can, enroll at the age of 3. So if they're done with early intervention, just want to make sure everybody knows that. These are some of the services that the care managers help with, school, work, home, things that concern health issues and things in the community to help them become more independent. These are some of the things that the care managers do, to assist the members. How to get started. Now, the first thing the family needs to do is complete the front door. I know in the past, it used to be sort of like a Zoom type of meeting where they would watch the videos and they would answer questions and give a certificate. Now that has changed. To complete the front door, you would just watch the videos. And I wouldn't really worry too much about that because I know some of the schools and the provider agencies are already providing the parents with this information, and we also do as well. So once they connect to a CCO, if they haven't watched the videos, we provide that information. So once that's complete, then we can apply for OPWD eligibility. Once eligibility is established, then we can then apply for Medicaid. And then once the Medicaid is approved, then we can apply for CCO enrollment, which is when the care manager is assigned. So this is basically the steps on how to get started. Now, what do we need to apply? This is some of the documentation that we'll need. So we'll need an annual physical. It must be signed electronically or hand signed. They do not accept the stamp signature. So I know a lot of times we get, evaluations that have a stamp. So make sure that any evaluations that you send should have either electronic signature or hand signature. We also need a psychological evaluation, must have the IQ and adaptive testing. Again, also signed electronically or by hand. Also, an autism evaluation is needed. The psychological has to be within 3 years. The autism evaluation has to be within 1 year. The social history also has to be within 1 year. We also need the IEP school reports. And of course, any other supported documentation, that discusses the diagnosis. That could be, letters from a clinician, a neurologist, things like that, that the member is seeing. Anything that's pertinent to the diagnosis can also be submitted. So yeah, this is our information. This is the direct link to outreach. I want, to leave this here because I know sometimes when the providers or even the families, they're, wanting to submit a referral, they're going through the customer service, which kind of, takes a little time. This is important because this number here is our outreach number. So if you're trying to submit a referral, this comes directly to us. So we try to avoid delays. So this is very important. I'm also going to put this in the chat. Also, we have a QR code. So if you scan that code, it takes you directly to our landing page. So when you submit the referral through the landing page, it comes directly to us. It's not going through customer service. So it just kind of helps avoid delays, with the process. And that's pretty much it. I will definitely put all my information in the chat, and anybody has any other questions, they can always contact me directly. Thank you.
Thank you, ACA. Next up, we are having Care Design New York.
Okay, hi, folks. So my name is Peter Coleman. I do outreach and engagement here at Care Design. As Zach said, as Andrew said before Zach, Care Design provides the same exact service as ACA. We provide care management. It's also known as care coordination. My title here is I am the Outreach and Engagement Manager. So it's my job to educate nice folks like yourselves about our service and our eligibility process. I like to say that that's my day job. My real job is I am the proud parent of an 18-year-old male who has autism, who also has services. So as one parent to another, I recommend the care management very, very highly. Sorry for the blank screen. So we know that this process, folks, OPWDD care management front door. Oh my goodness, we all need an Excedrin when we hear this, right? To make things very simple. Okay, if you want any of the wonderful services that you've heard about before these presentations, or that you're about to hear about after this presentation, what are known as OPWDD-based services, waiver services, I have a partial listing up here. You need to have a care manager in order to get your loved one those services, right? So talking about some of these wonderful services here, like respite, self-direction, community habilitation, is always nice. But when you're doing that, you're putting the cart before the horse. Really, your first step, if you don't have services, is you need to select a CCO. Right now, it's either ACA or us, and no matter who you select, you will be in good hands, okay? You need to select a CCO, and then you need to work with that care coordination organization in order to get your loved one enrolled into care management so that they can have a care manager, okay? We wish that we could provide a care manager right away, like Amazon. We wish we were like Amazon. We wish we could send a care manager to your home tomorrow. We really do, in the big truck too, but we can't do that. Folks, we do have an extensive enrollment process, something that you may have heard about, something that lives in infamy, but it's really not that bad, folks. The first thing that we help you with is getting your loved one determined eligible for OPWDD. By now, most of you probably know that that stands for the Office for People with Developmental Disabilities. The important thing you need to know, regardless of which CCO, either ACA or us, the important thing to know about OPWDD eligibility is that you're not going to be on your own with this. You will have assistance, okay? No one is expecting you to know how to apply for OPWDD on your own. So if you apply to Care Design, you will be assigned to an enrollment specialist who will take you through the process every step of the way, okay? The second requirement for someone applying to Care Design for care management is Medicaid, active Medicaid. Now, for those of you whose loved ones might already have Medicaid, great, we don't have to get you Medicaid again. For those of you who do not have Medicaid, we begin the Medicaid portion of the enrollment process once we have an OPWDD approval. So very important, this is the way it works, is when you contact us, the first thing that we work on is OPWDD eligibility. We help you with that first, and then after that, we help you with the Medicaid process. One of the most frequently asked questions I get is, will my loved one qualify for Medicaid? Some of you might have already applied for Medicaid before and you got denied. And the short answer is yes. The basis for the Medicaid approval is not going to be on your household income. The basis for the Medicaid approval will be on the fact that we already have OPWDD eligibility. So at this point, folks, really, that's all you really need to know, okay? You know, we help you get the evaluations, so you're not going to be alone with that. So the evaluations needed for OPWDD, psychological evaluation, psychosocial evaluation, we're prepared to assist you and advise you on how to get those evaluations done. Then when we have a packet, we submit it to OPWDD. There are two types of eligibility. There's provisional for folks who are below the age of 8, which means that anyone found eligible for OPWDD prior to the age of 7, actually, will have to reapply in their 8th year, okay? And we'll help with that as well. So the permanent eligibility is anyone who is found eligible for OPWDD in their 8th year, okay? So we talked about the evaluations. And again, Medicaid, why is it needed? It's needed because it pays for our service. Medicaid also pays for a great many other services that you're learning about today, okay? And again, it is obtainable, okay? This is my contact information. I also posted in the chat. For those of you who have questions, I will say that email is best. Okay, if you email me just in the header, please put, I saw the presentation, Peter, I have questions. And what I'll do is we'll try to arrange for a time. We'll try to put something on the calendar so that we're not playing phone tag, and we can put something on the calendar and I can give you time to ask questions. And then I might need to take some information from you. Okay, great being with you all today. I don't know.
Next presenter.
So, thank you, Peter from CDNY. And our next presenter is Partners Health Plan PHP, please.
Good morning, it's still good morning. How's everyone doing? Okay, Partners Health Plan is a managed care organization and is designed for individuals that are an OPWDD, intellectual and developmental disability, and 21 and over. So it's designed in mind is your plan, your weight. So it's designed around the individual. And we help family and loved ones navigate the way that they get their waiver services and their programs, I guess. So PHP is about helping families and individuals with disability, the caregivers, the teamwork, communication, and integration, and is the support that families could count on. One of, I guess, the requirements to join Partners Health Plan is the person needs to be 21 and over, have both Medicaid and Medicare Part 8 and B, and be eligible for the OPWDD services. We work in the 5 boroughs, Nassau, Westchester, Richmond, and I guess throughout the city. We have outreach representatives like myself in each borough, in each region. That is the first step to get in to get in PHP. So each outreach associate is there to reach and work with the families to navigate and see if it's a good fit for them. Once the person joins Partners Health Plan, you get similar to what the CCOs do. You get a care manager and a clinical care manager, which is a licensed social worker or a licensed registered nurse. Once the person meets the requirements that I had said before, And it's a teamwork collaboration when we have the care manager, the family, the providers, if the person has self-direction, the broker. So we work with all of with the existing brokers and F5 that they have without any need to switch from the brokers or any FIs. In addition to, we also have enhanced benefits for partners health plan. When the person gets their OPWDD, the medical, the pharmacy, the dental has a unique feature that if your loved one has a fear of going to the dentist, we could arrange for in-service a dental when it accommodates. It could either be the vehicle that will come below where the person lives, and it will be prepared with all the equipment, or it will be in-house. We have the enhanced benefits of the free transportation, which is in the form of Uber or Lyft, if the person doesn't require any wheelchair, which we also have. But that's a unique feature to have the Uber, and we have 120 rides to go to the supermarket yearly. No limited on going rides to go to the doctor's appointment or pharmacy, and they could be accompanied by a loved one in that ride. We also have 24 for social. If they go into a family or is this a gathering in the community, they also could use the feature of the Uber or Lyft if they prefer, which, as it was mentioned before, as a ride, since it picks up multiple people, this is more person-centered. We have the OTC card, which is $150 every month. You could use it for groceries, use it or lose it. And then there's $65 that you could use for a portion of to pay either a cell phone bill, electricity, that you could accumulate month to month. And now we are also contracted with the PPL, so which is now changing from what used to be CDPAD. So if the person has, CDPAD services, we are also contracted through the PPL, and they continue receiving those services besides all of the waiver services like respite, as it was mentioned, and all of the one, not to run on and go at a time, all of the other services I've mentioned. This is what our card looks like once the person receives it. They never lose their services for Medicaid and Medicare, since it's one of the requirements. So this will have the name of the person, the name of the provider. And if we are contracted with providers, so we will have to see if the provider is in network. And if it's not in network, we usually reach out to the provider. And for the first 90 days, they could continue seeing that provider until we get a contract, or the person might have to take the option to switch if it's not a deal breaking provider. So enrollment is voluntarily. And if the person find is a good fit for the individual, and if they find it accommodates, I'll put my information on the flyer, and my coworkers as well, Belkis, and you could reach out to us. It's person-centered, so it might differ from what somebody else's have. So never feels like turning us down. Give us an opportunity, and we'll see if it's a good fit for the individual. And that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next presentation is going to be with Lifespire.
Right. Good morning. My name is Iris. I am one of the Assistant Directors of Day Services for Lifespire. Today I will be presenting with Ralph. He is the Facility Director at our Manhattan North facility, and with Jillian. She is the Facility Director at our Manhattan South facility. Next slide. So Lifespire has been providing services to people with intellectual disabilities for over 70 years. We are going to spend more time talking about our day habilitation services, but I will briefly want to mention that we also offer CONHAB. That is only for individuals who live at home. And this is a one-to-one service from the house and the community. We do have rehab workers throughout the 5 boroughs. We also offer residential services. We have over 30 residences throughout the 5 boroughs. We have respite. That service is only in the Bronx and Manhattan right now. We also offer Article 16. That is for either evaluations at any point, any age, including children. And we also offer services during our program hours, such as psychotherapy and speech. And we also have family reimbursement. If you need any more information in regards to the services that I just mentioned, CONHAB, residential, respite, Article 16, and family reimbursement, our phone number and the website is on the screen. Please feel free to reach out to us at any point. For the sake of time, because I know we are a little bit behind schedule, we are going to talk more in depth about our rehabilitation services. We have a total of 11 programs. We have one program in the Bronx, 3 in Brooklyn, 4 in Queens, and 1 in Staten Island. The same thing, if anybody is interested about any of the other boroughs, please feel free to reach out to us. The 2 programs that we have in Manhattan, Manhattan North and Manhattan South, Ralph is going to talk to us a little bit more about what we offer at Manhattan North. Next slide. Oh, before we go into that, I briefly want to mention something that we highlight a lot is the person's interest. So before we move further into the enrollment, we want the person to come and do a tour, because we want to make sure that the person that needs the services likes the environment, knows the facility, get to know us a little bit better. We also want to focus the needs of the person, because sometimes, yes, we met, we love the program, the family want to move forward, but let's say if, for instance, the person needs a medication that can only be given by a nurse, then it's important that the parents look for a program that have a full-time nurse. The same thing for ambulation issues. We do have programs at ground level. So if the person utilizes a wheelchair, is perfectly fine. But we also have programs located like on the 7th floor. So maybe that will not be the best program for that person. So we also want to highlight that to keep the person's needs in mind before making a final decision. And location. As I mentioned before, we have 11-day programs throughout the 5 boroughs. I highly emphasize that parents look into that, whether it's for Lifespire or another agency, because you do not want your child to be on the bus for over 2 hours. So before we move further into enrollment, we provide transportation. So we can ask the bus company to give us an estimate how long it will take for the person to travel back and forth program. So those are the 3 things that I highlight every parent or every advocate out there to look into it before deciding what is the best program for your child. All right, it's all yours, Ralph.
Good morning, folks. My name is Ralph Sporandio. I'm the facility director here at Manhattan North's Comprehensive Service Center. Manhattan North is basically designed to provide rehabilitation services designed to integrate individuals both into community and home life. Our services are site-based, and they are worked with as a team to determine what type of goals and focus that the individuals who do participate in our program choose to work on and focus on throughout our program day. Our day program here is co-located with the Manhattan North site, Manhattan South site, and we also provide Article 16 services here, and which comprise of psychotherapy and speech. Since COVID, there has been some fall off in some of the other services that are provided directly out of this site. It should be noted that Manhattan North also provides Fresh Start programming. You can move through to the next one, Andrew. So the Fresh Start program that we do have here does focus on individuals who do need a little extra support in terms of their behavior. So we do have the extra staffing and the ability to work with individuals with some challenging behaviors. It should be noted, though, at this time, we are not taking participants that are requiring a one-to-one type of service. That should be noted, but we do work with challenging behaviors, and will do an evaluation with our psych team to understand how we can best fit that person into our program routine. Again, our Lifespire Manhattan North program does have generally an LPN on site. We do have room for some individuals with ambulation issues. We are not ground floor, but we do have some ability to have some individuals who have ambulation problems. but we do not have the ability to take anybody who is utilizing a wheelchair at the moment. We are kind of at our capacity for that particular issue. Again, we work very hard to make sure that we and our DSPs are here focusing daily on maintaining a focus on making sure we have good integration into community life and home life. And again, we are very person-centered driven, and our teams are here working with each individual to ensure that both the families, the individual, and the team as a whole have developed the right focus for us to look at for each participant who wants to move forward with our programming. And that's generally what we have here again here at Manhattan North. And again, we are co-located with Manhattan South, but we do work together and we are very integrated here in programming. So there's a very family-like environment when you walk into our facility, and everybody is kind of with everybody. It's very great. I'm going to pass it on over here to Jillian in a second. You can move to the next slide, Andrew. And these are some of the pictures and what we do, our activities. We spend a lot of time in the community. While we are site-based, we are very much focused on leaving the facility. We are site-based, but our focus is being out in the community as much as possible throughout our programming day. It's very important for us to kind of be out there and be integrated and be with the people in our communities. Can one more time, Andrew? And I'll pass it on over to Jillian now.
Hi, how you guys doing? My name is Jillian Castillo, and I'm the facility director for Manhattan South CSC. Next slide. And these are part of the staff team and our management team that work with the people that we support. Next slide. Okay, so basically Ralph kind of said everything he had to say. We work, in the same floor with working the same goals for communication skills, socialization skills, self-advocacy for the people we support. Next slide. These are some of the pictures and activities that we do with the people we support. We also have volunteer sites. We go out on special trips on a monthly basis. We do community-based activities. We do clubs in the facility as well as outside, such as nutrition, library club, recycling clubs. And next slide.
So another tip that we want to share with parents and advocate, again, whether you want to look into our services or another agency, because we understand that this process can be very intense because we are making a decision that will impact somebody else's life. So we want to highlight that communication is essential. The most important person is the individual that needs the services. So all the decisions that we make, we got to make sure that that person is involved. We need to stay connected right now. If your child is in school, with the parents coordinator, attend as many tours as you can, again, so you can actually get to see the facilities, and the care manager. Again, a lot of parents come to us, we do the tours, we love to help families, but without the care manager, we cannot move forward. It's never too early. I have done tours and the person is not graduating yet. It's fine, because again, we want to encourage parents and advocates to get as much information as you can so you can make the best decision for your child. Next slide. So again, we went over this information very quickly, but please feel free to reach out to us. All our information is there. Come and see what we have to offer, and thank you so much for your time.
Okay, thank you, Lifespire's team. Then we have next is the New York Foundling.
My name is Jaleesa. I'm the marketing director here at the New York Foundling. And similar to all of my colleagues from all of our partnering agencies, we provide waiver services to children and adults with developmental disabilities. I did want to highlight today our Manhattan Dehabilitation Without Walls and employment program specifically. I'll put in videos. We do have a video series of all of our day programs showcasing the actual vicinity and the neighboring communities via some YouTube links. So I'll be putting those in the chat. It was helpful for us to be able to do a video tour for all of our properties so that, as my colleague previous at Lifespire said, that parents can make an informed decision if they cannot make it to tour in person, and as they're preparing for setting up programs for their graduates this June. So here at the Foundling, you know, we've been founded in 1869 from the Sisters of Charity. We're historically known for our child welfare and adoption services for our foster care population. And for over 50 years, we've been providing DD services. So we do have residential services. Our team developed a bulletin of all of our vacancies for our residential services. We share that with care managers at Care Design and ACA, for example. So if you do have a loved one on the CROW list who is seeking a residential placement, or if they wish to live independently, please contact your care manager and ask them to request our residential bulletin, because we do have opportunities available. We have community habilitation services, as folks mentioned. We can provide support for 3.5 if they've received early intervention up until adulthood. Our employment services, we have community pre-voc and supported employment in Rockland, Bronx, and in Manhattan. And we've recently submitted a request to OPWDD to expand our services into Brooklyn and Queens. So be on the lookout for that. And our day program. So we last spring opened up our Day Habilitation Without Walls in Manhattan, completing our profile. We are now in all 5 boroughs and Rockland County. We also have 2 site-based programs in Brooklyn and 1 in Queens. We offer tours. I will be attaching our flyer and our registration link if you wish to tour our properties. We have open houses for all of our programs once or twice a month, so that we have dates up until April where you guys can tour our properties. We encourage you all to join us during those tour dates early in the morning. That's when some of our participants are arriving from pickup. And we also, and I say that because we have a young gentleman in our Manhattan program who, when he sees guests, offers to make tea and coffee. So they also enjoy you all coming out and touring with them. And I'll say it for him, he loves to make friends. So our programs are designed for them to be able to increase their socialization, to be able to be community integrated, to volunteer. We pay for all activities. We share our monthly calendar that is tailored by the people that we support. They have, you know, museum passes. They have New York City passes that are paid for. They just have to bring lunch every single day or monies to go out and purchase lunch. So again, we do offer tours of all of our Manhattan Without Walls programs. We also offer trials. So as your young adults are transitioning out of high school, and if you're trying to find a day program now, they can actually trial during their breaks. So as long as we have an intake packet and some information about them, they can trial. We offer transportation for all of our programs as well. And if or transportation on your own if you live outside of a borough and wish to, you know, attend a different day program. Again, I'll put our registration link and information on what the enrollment process looks like, but we're super excited to be able to deliver these services to you all. Again, I'll put in the YouTube links as well of our video tours. We're excited that we are relocating our Brooklyn program. We have a ribbon cutting March 5th. So you guys are, if you're all interested in touring our Brooklyn program, feel free to do that as well. And again, Foundling is here to provide numerous opportunities, community engagement, community integration for all of your amazing loved ones who wish to live independently, to make friends, and be able to socialize and connect with one another. So I echo all of my partner providers here in saying that we're excited to meet all of you during this process. If you have any questions, again, I'll be in the chat in my linked information.
Thank you so much. We're going to be moving on to our next presenter, which is Open the Lid.
Hey, I'm Lydia Dolch from Open the Lid. It is an honor to spend this time with you. I am an empowerment coach, a teacher, a mom of some neurodivergent kids with experience in exceptional education, autism, communication challenges, parenting, and I also live with sensory processing disorder after a head injury. Open the Lid is a web-based empowerment community for people of all ages, identities, labels, and locations. We have a lot of folks in this transition age who join us, who are looking for meaningful connections, deep friendships, peer support on a regular basis, and also really individualized guidance to go from where they are to where they want to be and figure out what that looks like. So a lot of folks are used to having a lot of support in the school environment, and all of a sudden that support is no longer present. And perhaps a day hab situation isn't quite right for them. Maybe they're looking for independent volunteer opportunities, or they're doing day hab, they want something afterward. Or they're the kind of folks that might stay up all night on a computer and sleep all day, and parents are just kind of like, you know what, they're older, I can't tell them what to do anymore, and I need some help in creating some meaning and some reason to get out of bed in the morning. That's where we can come in. We have group classes that meet 5 days a week on Zoom with small groups with people from all over the United States, opportunities to connect in meaningful ways. Each day of the week is a different theme. So we work on creating long-term goals. We do expanding interests and research strategies, communication strategies, dance parties, game nights, working on communicating effectively what your needs and interests are and what they aren't, but in appropriate social ways. We have individual classes that focus on technology and movement. So for example, our technology classes might help someone start a YouTube channel or sell their art on Redbubble, or figure out how to have a safe Instagram presence, or maybe start dating or using apps to make friends in the community in safe ways. Our movement classes are really meeting people where they're at and helping them move forward, whether that's learning executive functioning skills to organize their space, exploring ways to move their body, and get that exercise or movement that they need, that they might not necessarily be motivated to have. And also just thinking about ways to move in the community, researching together ways to connect when they're feeling daunted, navigating social anxiety, executive functioning challenges, etc. I also want to mention our technology classes are really appropriate for AAC users. Our teachers are experts in the field of special education, recreational therapy, and a lot of them are experts in the realm of autism and AAC usage, whether it's somebody with cerebral palsy or other communication needs. So we help people maximize the use of their AAC devices, including training staff, home staff, families, caregivers, siblings, so that it's not just AAC that's used in the community setting or the school setting, but also in the home environment, and then out more effectively in the community as well. We have general empowerment classes that are working on some of these soft skills as well, self-advocacy, self-regulation strategies, etc. Let's see. I think we're talking a little bit more here are group classes, friends, independent support, 5 times a week. Some examples of students that benefit. I talked a little bit about the night owls, folks that are neglectful of hygiene. And again, the parents or caregivers aren't necessarily making a lot of movement. We can think about it from different directions, perspectives. We're often considered like the fun aunt, you know, that like can come up with strategies and supports that are meaningful and connecting. We also talk about the intersection of sexuality and disability. We have folks who are teachers who are also part of the LGBTQIA community and help folks with identity and safety, especially in these days. We also are really great for folks that have limited mobility or transportation issues or navigate social anxiety. Again, any age, but we especially love working with this transition age. We also offer caregiver classes to help with home routines, transition plans, aging parents, community resources. We do educational advocacy, working with IEPs, behavior plans, life plans, etc., and help navigate government funding. For the organizations who are here representing other organizations, we also offer workshops. So if perhaps you're part of a District 75 group, or you have other community organizations that might benefit from some training, Open the Lid, we love, love, love doing training, whether it's virtual or in person. Some of our most popular trainings include steps to self-care, effective care management for LGBTQIA groups, self-advocates who identify as transgender autistic, helping self-advocates move toward the life they want to live, strategies to keep the ball rolling, and effective text and talk, regardless of your personality, strengths, or past experiences. So we work on creating content for specific audiences. We collaborate with hosts, whether that's a library, whether that's a care management organization, whether that's a day hab community. We're also working with some residential services, helping support their staff, avoiding burnout, working on effective gamifying healthcare, etc. This is based on research and work in the field in special education and public education. I even was the art director at, if you've seen the Netflix movie Crip Camp, I was the art director there at Camp Jeanette a while back, and worked in residential as well. So a lot of our teachers are all incredibly experienced and come with an incredible skill set to support you. We do workshops in English and Spanish, and they're very interactive. We have a free week trial for our group classes and individual classes. You can scan the QR code. We work with folks who have self-directed services as a community class and work with a lot of different FIs to directly invoice so families don't have to pay out of pocket and then get reimbursed. And we are working with FIs to become more clear about making sure our community classes really fit the expectations of really truly being open to the public. We have folks with neurodivergent identities as well as neurotypical identities, and over 80% of our income is actually from neurotypical events, trainings, classes, etc. So we want to just make that really clear, that we're really focused on skills, and it's mostly our movement classes and our technology classes that are considered these community classes through self-directed services most of the time. We love to connect. You can connect via social media. We're also on LinkedIn at Open the Lid. You can email, call, text, and let's see, I'm just going to also pop in the chat our information. If you would like to talk about workshops, great, let us know. If you'd like to talk about how to support your individual through this transition, awesome, let us know. Folks who don't have self-directed services can pay for our classes through health savings accounts often, as well as through private pay. And we have some scholarships available on a availability basis, depending on how those funds are being used. So we love what we do. We're here every day, grateful to help people live their most authentic lives so that folks have meaning in their lives beyond school, and joy. Really trying to bring joy factor into people's lives and communities and families and care support systems. Thanks so much for your time, and happy to answer any questions in the chat or reach out with this information, and I'll share that in the chat as well.
Okay, thank you, Lydia from Open the Lid. Our next presenter is QSAT, Quality Service for the Autism Community, QSAT.
Okay, hi everybody. My name is Brittany, and I run the FSS programs for Manhattan here at QSAC. I'm just going to give you guys a brief. So we run the non-Medicaid service coordination. Obviously, the purpose is to provide services to those that don't have Medicaid down the road. We provide it in Manhattan, Brooklyn, and Queens, and the families need to attend the front door sessions. Step one is to gather the documentation, which is the psychological, psychosocial, and medical. And then we upload it onto choices, and if provided eligibility, we will let the families know if they have provisional or full eligibility. If they're under 8, they get provisional, and we let them know that they can refer to other programs through the grant book. And if they're over 8 and they are eligible, we continue to provide the services for the Medicaid application, and then once approved, we transfer them over to CCO. We also provide services for family reimbursement. They obviously have to have OPWGD eligibility and must reside at home with the family. With the required documentations, we need an completed application. If they have eligibility or letter, they can provide us the letter, the receipts during the current fiscal year, justification letter. If they have a CCO, they would have to provide us with the life plan, with the information in section 1 and section 5 and the LOC. This is my contact information, Brittany, right here, if you need to reach out to me for any information. We also run a self-advocacy group out of our Astoria office. Everybody needs to be travel trained on getting there or take a Cessa ride. We run it every other Tuesday from 5 to 6:30. Our groups tend to, age range usually is 18 plus. So again, if you know anybody that'd be interested in attending that, they could come one time. They don't feel like they don't want to attend any more longer, that's okay. A trial period is okay. That's all I have to provide. So thank you all.
Okay, so that brings us to Sinergia.
We are two people today presenting for Sinergia, Joanna Santana and Roberto Maldonado. So very quickly, we are a non-for-profit community-based multi-service organization since 1977. And our vision is to enhance the well-being of participants with developmental disability. Most of our programs serve all boroughs, but if you are interested in knowing some of the services and if they serve the borough, the best way is to talk to us. We will provide that information. These are the list of the programs that we provide: family support services, educational advocacy, service coordination, free evaluation, family reimbursement program, and housing advocacy. And I am currently serving as the director of these family support services here at Sinergia. So any question about these programs, you can always reach out to me and I'll be happy to provide you information. We also have neighborhood preservation program, Metropolitan Parent Center, Autism Initiative, overnight respite program, community rehabilitation, in-home respite, and family care. And then the group of programs that are pertaining to DayHab, which we are going to be explaining later on, right? So very quickly, family support services will help you to connect with OPWDD. I am impressed of the amount of families that they don't have OPWDD after the school ends. So please, if you have a family member that has a developmental disability or intellectual disability, and you're ending their school years, please reach out to us. I will be happy to explain you the process, especially if you don't have Medicaid or your loved one doesn't have Medicaid. We provide a bunch of services for Manhattan residents under this program. And especially with the housing, family reimbursement, and educational advocacy. Another program that we have under the Metropolitan Parent Center is the Integrated Transition Program. It helps participants from 14 to 21 to acquire a set of skills, life skills, communication, and independent living. So for this program, you can also contact us to see if your loved one meets the criteria to participate.
All right, so we have supported employment SEMP. We do, we have extensive and extended. There's job coaching, work readiness training, job seeking. We have one client working in Walgreens, another in Dollar Tree. We visit, we do job coaching. We also do job development, amongst other things. We go to volunteer sites as well. Everything to help our person receiving services, better transition into the, just better integrate into the community as an employed person, getting into the job market and providing the confidence and skills and, social know-how. We also have day habilitation with our walls and on-site day habilitation. So our day habilitation is designed to help individuals work on their goals in a group setting. So We do pick up. We have pickup for our clients within the center here on 120 between 125th and 126th on Lexington. We address the goals. We go on various excursions. We also have we do presentations, cultural presentations, like Hispanic Heritage, Black History Month, and more. We go out on, like I said, various excursions, and we pay for those. Transportation, we pay for transportation. The clients or persons receiving services bring their lunch money. We also do a lot of fitness-oriented programs because, health is wealth, and we really believe that. So you can see our guys reaching a lot of goals and getting in shape for their futures. So this is how to reach us. Our intake, that's our phone number. Email intake@sinergiany.org for more information. We have our website as well.
And sí, hablamos español. Así que les esperamos por aquí. Have a great day.
Thank you, Sinergia. Now, our next presenter is the Shield Institute, Pure Vision Art.
Hi, my name's Sonia, Sonia Medici. I'm the program coordinator at Pure Vision Arts. We're part of the Shield Institute. The Shield Institute is a pretty well-known agency. It's been around for a while. I'm here today to focus on one of our site-based adult day habilitations called Pure Vision Arts. We're pretty unique in that we have the focus of our program is art. So really, like, the setup is basically it's a studio environment, and I'm going to show you guys some pictures so you can see. But some of the basics, it's actually really the first of its kind. It's a very specialized program. As I mentioned, it's an art studio for people 21 and over with developmental disabilities, autism. We provide like a very supportive art studio environment. We work on typical things that you would work on in any day hab. We have staff action plans. We work on goals. Because of the nature of our program, people have some art-focused goals, but also people are working on different things like social skills, communication skills, even some health goals, and we touch on all of those things too. So, the majority of people's time is spent being able to pursue their creative activities, visual arts, but we have people interested in, creative expression in general. We're very person-centered, so we try to support, whatever the artists are interested in. We provide, the materials and the support and the space to be able to, to work towards that. So like I said, in addition to doing art-related things and going to art galleries, we're in Chelsea, which is a really well-known, art neighborhood. We go to galleries and museums and stuff. We also have groups based on artist interests, like, we have a life skills group. We have a New York City history group right now. We change these groups, every 6 months or so. But, right now, some of the highlights that we have a fun and games group, where we play different games. So these are things outside of art. So we do other things too. And it's site-based, but we're very involved in the community. We go around the neighborhood, make sure that we're part of the community. This is my contact information. This is my email. We also, the artist's work, like, we really try to get it out there. People come to us with ambitions for different things they want to do with their work. Whether it be they want to eventually be an animator, or, they're trying to illustrate a book, or, just make paintings. I mean, we really get to know our artists very well, and, work with them to just be the best that they can be in general, be great artists. These are some, this happens to be our Instagram page, which you can see day to day. We always try to highlight what the artists are working on. You know, it's just really amazing. It's a really great program, and you know, I'm excited to speak to anyone more about it. You know, if you're interested, you think this might be a good fit for your family member. So this is just all this work is made by the artists here. We don't teach classes. You know, we have knowledge of the materials and everything, and you know, connect people to bigger opportunities, exhibition opportunities. For example, we just closed out an exhibition we had at the New York Transit Museum. We're really, you know, it's a really amazing program. So I'm excited to highlight it today. And like I said, in the presentation I'm gonna put in the chat, it does have our general intake because, like I said, the Shield is a really great agency that offers a variety of other services too. We're just a site-based adult day habilitation within the Shield, but you can speak to the intake coordinator, and I'm putting her information in there too, into the chat, and they can connect you to, you know, whatever supports your family member might need. So yeah, this is some of the amazing work. I'm really proud to show you guys like some of the stuff that people are doing here. So thank you.
Well, thank you. We're now going to move on to Unique Care Community Services, Inc.
All right, so we are Unique Care Community Services. We do provide services in all 4 boroughs: Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, and the Bronx. We do have day hab without walls in Manhattan, as well as the Bronx, Manhattan, and Queens. Sorry. These are some of the information that we do. We do individual with enhancing their ability. We do go into the community, again, where they have without walls. We work with the individual to enhance whatever activities or whatever they would like to do. So we have some individual that works in the spa across the street. We have some that works in the supermarket, some that works in the office, to work on job readiness skills as well. We provide yoga that they get on Tuesdays. They go to recreation on Mondays as well. So they go to the gym because we do wellness. They work on their socialization. We do not provide lunch or breakfast, but they can bring lunch or bring their own money to buy lunch. We do provide transportation. Pickup starts about 8:30, and we leave the program for drop off about 2:30. Once pickup start, they will reach out to the family, letting them know what's time they will get there, and they do the same for drop off as well. We do have in-home respite as well as overnight respite that runs on Friday to Sunday. Pickup starts around 5:30, and then they start dropping off Sunday morning to Sunday afternoon to the individual home. They go to an Airbnb where we provide breakfast, lunch, and dinner, as well as different activities for the day and for the weekend that they're there. We do have in-home respite as well as after school, summer camp, holiday respite as well. We do hire the parent staff if they have a staff member that they want us to hire. We do hire that staff. We do the same background check as we do for any other staff. We provide them with the training that's necessary, that's needed for each of our programs. This is a copy of our flyers of all the activities. I did put in the chat our website that you can visit and see a lot of different activities that they do and learn a little bit more about our program that we do. And if you have any question, my information is also in the chat.
Okay, thank you, Angelica from Unique Care Community Service, Inc. The next is the last presenter is YAI Network.
Thank you. So I'm Christy Torres. Today I will be presenting on the YAI Community and Family Services, Family Support Services. mainly for residents in Manhattan that are adults. As you guys know, YAI, it's a very big agency with many other programs, and I will review some of those at the end of the presentation to give you some contact information in order to reach out to those specific programs. So the first program that I will be presenting on today is our Crisis Intervention Program. This is a program that we provide to residents and families that live in Manhattan and Queens. It is a program where we provide three main services. The first one is our case management, where we support families in applying for OPWDD eligibility in conjunction with the CCOs, and also support them with obtaining other services like public entitlements, etc. We also support them by providing in-home crisis counseling. This is a service that is in the home, and it's around for 6 to 9 months. We provide counseling services to the caregiver or to the person with IDD. We also provide behavior management services, and this service is anywhere from 3 to 6 months. And this service is mainly for caregivers. What we do is we support the caregiver in learning the skills and how to deal with the behavior. We also support in creating a behavior plan that they could implement in their home. The services are provided by our licensed social workers as well as behavior specialists. We provide the services in English, Spanish, Mandarin, Hindu, and Urdu. Our next program is our in-home behavior service program. For this program, you specifically need to have OPWDD eligibility already established in comparison to crisis intervention, where we actually support the family. For this specific program, you need to already have it. We provide the services for families in the Bronx through our at-home behavior management program for families in the Bronx, Queens, and Brooklyn. And through our Project Intervene program, we provide the services to families in Manhattan and Brooklyn. This program is for ages 3 and up. The clinician works directly with the caregiver through parent training, not the person. The service is in home, and it is once a week for 2 hours, and the services are provided in English and Spanish. We don't have a wait list, so if you know of any families that currently needs the support, feel free to reach out to us. The third program, it's a very special program. It's our Parents with Special Needs program. For this program, the person also needs to have OPWDD eligibility. But what makes this program so special is that this program is directly in working and supporting parents that have been diagnosed with IDD themselves. So the whole point of the program is to empower parents with IDD through direct support and skills training to become more independent and successful parents. The service is provided one-on-one in the home, as well as community-based training through support groups. And some of the topics that are reviewed are parenting and family empowerment, skills training, infant care, behavior management, safety awareness, and money management, self-advocacy and community resources, exploring independence and interdependence, as well as enhancing parental self-esteem and confidence. The program is also provided in English and in Spanish, and like I mentioned before, it needs to be, the person needs to have established OPWDD eligibility. Our next program, which is one of our very popular programs, is our Manhattan Social Skills Program. And this program is for Manhattan residents only, ages 9 and up. Usually this program is divided into 3 different groups for children, adolescents, and adults. It is 10 weekly sessions during the fall and the spring. It is once a week for 90 minutes in one of our sites in person. Transportation reimbursement is provided, as well as a light snack. So yes, some of the topics that are discussed during the program is friendships, communication, social boundaries, awareness of others, and making choices. Our next program, which is also a very popular program, is our Independent Living Skills Program, that it is for Manhattan, Bronx, Queens, and Brooklyn residents. For all of our programs, because we are family support, the individual needs to be living at home with family members. The ages are 18 and up. It's a 10 weekly session 10 weekly sessions during 2 semesters. It is once a week for 2 to 3 hours, and the location varies. It depends, on the borough. Transportation reimbursement is provided, and live refreshments are provided as well. We don't have a wait list for the program, so feel free to reach out if you could think, if you have a client that would benefit from this program. Some of the topics that are reviewed during these programs are budgeting, nutrition and kitchen safety, decision making, problem solving, community and internet safety, as well as stress management. And last, these are the rest of the programs that we do have in YAI. If you need more information on these programs, feel free to reach out to the phone number there, as well as the email. In YAI, we also provide day services in pretty much all of the boroughs, community hub, respite, in-home respite, residential, camping and travel, family reimbursement. We also support with the Article 16, which is the evals, psychotherapy, and other therapies. We also have Article 28 for primary doctors, dentists, psychiatry, etc. We also have SID, which is formerly known as New York START. Education, we have 2 schools, which is I Hope and Manhattan START Academy, employment and support, and we also have an arts and culture studio. Thank you for your time.
And before we close out, Alina Douglas from YAI is also going to share some information about their day services programs.
Okay, so hi, as Andrew mentioned, my name is Alina. I am the intake specialist for Bronx and Manhattan services. This includes for residential and day hub. I'll focus on the day hubs in Manhattan and the Bronx. Those are my areas. Although, like Christy mentioned, we do offer day hubs in Brooklyn, Queens, Long Island, Lower Hudson Valley. We have 2 day hubs in Manhattan. We have the program it's called Lenox Day Hub, Upper Manhattan, Harlem area. This is a slightly different personality, I guess, than the Madison Day Hub. So Lenox Day Hub is site-based only. It is group day hub. I don't think I mentioned there in the address, but it is located on the 2nd floor of the Lenox building. So it's not a ground floor. It's not barrier-free. We do have some participants that do use wheelchairs. They're on ambulatory, but as of right now, under current resources, we cannot support another person that is not ambulatory, although generally we do. Scheduling, like most day hubs, 5 days per week, Monday to Friday, arrival at around 8:30 in the morning, dismissal at around 2. Like I said, we do offer transportation through busing. We focus on like different arts and crafts, exercise, dance groups, cooking, baking groups, sensory activities, socialization, and some community outings. The Madison Day Hub, like I mentioned, this one is actually on the 3rd floor. I'm sorry, Lenox is on the 2nd floor of the building. Madison Day Hub is on the 3rd floor. So again, it is not as easily accessible. This is a site-based day hub. We also offer a community-based program as well. Madison, how it differs from Lenox is really that there's more focus on more outside activities, volunteer opportunities. We have some sites at the church, Salvation Army, food pantry, local stores, and we're always looking to expand our network for volunteering sites so that folks can work on their community and pre-vocational skills. We really want to encourage the participants to, initiate, feel more independent, more confident, travel in the community more. So that's Madison. I also do intake for the day program in the Bronx. We have only one program in the Bronx, Sinergia Day Hub. This is a ground floor program, all 1 floor on that program. Same as before, it's group site-based day hub, Monday to Friday. There are different classrooms for people with different levels of support needs. They focus on communication skills, professional skills that we hope we can help encourage folks to become employed, socialization skills, and especially for the supplemental day hub program, recreational and community inclusion as much as possible. If you are interested in either of those day programs, you can reach out to Link. I believe the information might already be in the chat there, or you can reach out directly to myself for any referrals for any of these Bronx and Manhattan day hubs. Christy, my colleague, already shared some information about our clinics, the Article 28 and Article 16 clinic, Premier Healthcare and Center for Specialty Therapy. So there are the phone numbers there, but you can otherwise reach them through Link.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, YAI. That concludes our Manhattan Adult Service Meet and Greet 2025. And our next Manhattan transition meeting will be April 9th on Wednesday. And Andrew, want to tell us more about the topic for the next meeting?
Hi, thank you all for being here, both our presenters and our audience. As Pat mentioned, our next a couple of meetings, actually, we're going to be co-sponsoring a series of meetings about guardianship, alternatives to guardianship, and future planning, along with the Manhattan Family Support Services Advisory Council and AHRC's Guardianship Services Program. I'm going to put all the information in the chat. Those meetings will be March 26th and April 9th, both at 10 a.m. And you can register using the link in the chat. The first meeting is going to be a presentation about guardianship and alternatives to legal guardianship. The second meeting will be an opportunity to get assistance with the petition forms for Article 17A guardianship. And to attend the Part 2 meeting, you have to sign up for the Part 1. So use the link in the chat to register for both. And again, thank you everyone for being here today. A special thanks to all of our presenters and all the great information that was shared. Following this meeting, the recording of this meeting will be available on the Manhattan DD Council YouTube channel and website. So stay tuned for more information and the recording.
Okay, thank you and goodbye.